I get a lot of cool and unique knives come in, and every once in a while one stands out. This is the JT3. It is an awesome knife, and I apologize in the body of the video you're about to watch if it doesn't sound like it, but I was sick when I filmed this. But I do love this knife a lot. So let's turn this around and take a look at it from above. Guys, this is that Katsu JT3 that they sent me. I do have to be upfront and transparent. They did send me this knife. So as Nick Shabazz likes to say, this could be the best one that ever left the line, but I don't think so because I've purchased some of their products before. And I wanted to point this out. I love how the contrast of this, the shiny area on the very edge of this, makes it look like it's almost drawn on there when you put it on a dark background. So let's go ahead and get some specs out of the way. We'll do some size comparison, and I'll tell you the great stuff about this knife. So you are looking at a 3.9-inch S35 VN blade that has got a black titanium coating on it, titanium scales that are done in a frame lock, and it has Mars carbon fiber inlays. So the overall length on this is coming in at 9 inches. So it's not a small knife. It's got this very Asian inspired blade that I love. It's a lot like a Higo no Kami. Overall weight on this is right at 5.1 ounces. So it is running on ceramic bearings. It does have a ceramic detent. So this knife is a top flipper, front flipper only. So let's go ahead. I can tell you 9 inches all day, but until you do size comparison, it doesn't really give you a good perspective. So your first knife for size comparison is my Spyderco PM2 and S90V. You can see this is not a little knife. It's a good size knife. The PM2 is not a small knife. Your next knife for comparison is the Benchmade 940. Another probably one of the most well-known knives in knife community. You can see good bit bigger than the 940. And your final knife, as always, is the Christie Sebenza Large 21, not a small knife. And you guys have a good point of reference now. So now let's get this out of the way and talk about this great knife that they sent me. All right, with the size comparisons out of the way, let's go ahead and take a quick look at this knife. So this is a definite unique knife. I absolutely love it. It is very similar to the Higo no Kami, like I said, which is a knife I love. The Higo no Kami is a very popular slip joint, non-locking utility knife in Japan, and it looks very similar to this and has the same overall like function when it comes to how you open it. And then this thumb stud piece that is here, this top flipper, then would be how you lock it. But on this, you have a frame lock. So this is a more modernized version of that. The action on this really, really smooth. It's not quite drop shut, but it is very, very smooth. And it is one of the few top flippers that I really dig and can enjoy. The top flipper then becomes a thumb ramp with jimping on it, and it is great. Now this S35 VN blade is a long sweeping blade. It's not real broad, but they did a good job of getting that to a good behind the edge thickness. And the heat treat on this is really good because I have sharpened this a couple times, but I've done a lot of cutting with it, and it takes a very, very good edge. I have had zero issues with when you roll or anything like that, but it does get dull. So I like to keep S35 VN, so you guys know, at about 1,000 grit. This has got a titanium coating, like I said when we did the specs, but it has held up really well, barely any wear on that. And I have done a lot of cutting. These titanium handles, really straight, but you've got 2 spots on here for fingers, so you can put your pinky here and get up here, and you've got a really, really good grip on this knife. Very straight with a nicely, gently radiused blade. So you've got the best of both worlds. So you get the utilitarian features you would with a Wharncliffe if you wanted something straight for just doing some push cutting all the way up to the tip and not losing the cutting potential like you do on a lot of the drop points that have that radical curvature at the point. You've got a nice piercing point on it if you need to do some around, cutting around things, some detail cutting, and you can get your finger right up in here in this little dip because it's kind of curved, and you can cut around things. Nice long blade that doesn't feel out of sorts with itself. Sometimes when you get to that 9-inch point on a knife, the knife just feels too long. It feels too far from where your fingers are out to the tip of the blade. You feel like you lose control of the knife. It just feels awkward. Not in this case. The handles on it, solid all the way through, and the cutout is on the inside. So you don't have to worry about like a lot of pants pockets or a lot of knives when you put it in your pants pocket, that cutout being on the outside. Sometimes it's a hard edge and it catches in your pocket and you're trying to push it in your pocket. Pocket clip is not only attractive, really functional in and out of pocket, And it's got, instead of having a full, like, you know, solid piece across, it is cut down the middle, almost like a catamaran, like a double hull, boat. So autofocus, I'm having some problems with autofocus, guys. Gotta apologize. The carbon fiber inlays on this are done really, really well. Hang on just a second. Sorry about that. I had to fix the autofocus. The carbon fiber inlays on this are done in the Mars Valley fat carbon fiber, and they are gorgeous. And on this knife, with it having that, like I said in the beginning, like that cartoon-esque-ness to it, it just kind of goes along with it. This is one of those knives that just looks kind of over the top. Still super, super functional. Like I said, access to the lock bar. I wanted to point this out. Access to the lock bar on this, really good. You got a nice thick lock bar. They removed just enough material on this, and they took some material here out. So you've got just about perfect access to this. And like I said, the action on it, even though it's top flipper only, which I'm typically not a fan of, is great. And like I said, that thumb ramp is great there, but you also can get the heel, you're like the pad of your hand in there for doing some cutting like this, which I've done on stuff. I wouldn't say you could do some skinning or anything like game processing, because very, very pointy tip. You don't want to, you know, pop a gut or anything like that. But as far as utilitarian purposes, one of the coolest knives. So now there are going to be a couple things about this knife that I'm not such a huge fan of. So we will touch on those in a moment right after you guys hear from probably Coffee Brand Coffee.
Guys, you've heard me talk about Coffee Brand Coffee a bunch of times. I'm going to do it again real quick. Coffee Brand Coffee is a channel sponsor. They are a great company sponsoring small channels like mine, but they also are a guilt-free purchase because they do not practice any politics. They have a money-back guarantee, and they roast their coffee on demand. So if you're interested in it, my link down below in the videos saves you 10% at checkout, sometimes more depending on what they've got going on as far as specials and sales. So go check them out. Great product. Thank you very much for sponsoring the channel, Coffee Brand Coffee. Let's get back to the knife.
So first and foremost, I wish that they had brought this sharpening choil out a little bit. You can see that there's a little bit of a smile there, and there is a low spot on this that I still haven't sharpened all the way out. You can see there's still factory edge back here. I don't use the back part of this, but that's going to take a while to sharpen out because there's a low spot there. I may open this up on my own about to here, but I don't know if I want to do that because then you're going to have a difference in the finish. The next thing, it's a little heavy. It's not heavy. I mean, 5.1 ounces is not out of the range of what I typically would carry. It's heavy where I don't want it. I would like this to have much more of a neutral balance, but because they didn't do any weight reduction in the handles per se, except for the Mars fiber or Mars carbon fiber inlays that are on the surface, I think that this would have been a lot better if there had been some weight reduction, some milled out areas on that, because I just personally like a little bit less tail heavy weight in a knife. And it does feel heavy, even though 5 ounces isn't all that heavy. And then there's another thing. There is, like, sometimes the lock, it'll lock up, and then when you, like, it won't lock up all the way. And usually it's if you just kind of slow roll it out, and then when you mess with the blade, you feel it kick the rest of the way over. I have not had any thoughts that this lock would fail. I did test it. I did, out of character for me, spine whack tests on a piece of wood wrapped with a blanket, and I did some heavy duty spine whack tests, and the lock did not fail. But sometimes if you're just gentle with how you let it kick over, and then you move the blade a little bit, you just feel the lock kick the rest of the way over. So don't think I think it's just because it has a gentle radius to it, as opposed to a much more heavy curvature on some knives. But like I said, stellar knife. I do have a coupon code with them now. I know I put that on the bottom at the beginning of the video so that you can pick these up, but I absolutely love this, and it's just goofy and weird enough, but still functional enough to be one of those knives I'm always going to like. So let's turn this around. We'll do some final thoughts and send you out about your day.
Hey guys, Katsu knives have been great to deal with, and as far as I've seen, all the stuff that I've handled that Jared sent, that I've seen from them, and stuff that I've purchased from them, their knives are just really, really well made. They've been a dream to work with. They're one of my favorite affiliates. They set up everything for me. They gave me a discount code. You can save 10% with my code. I'll talk about that in a second. So, you know, there was an ad in the video, so you know that I have sponsors. Two of the sponsors down below have got coupon codes built into their links. Well, it's a discount built in. It's Coffee Brand Coffee and Temper Trail. You save 10%. Coffee Brand Coffee has got gift boxes for holidays and stuff like that. I absolutely would check them out. Some of the best coffee I've ever had personally. I've got affiliate links from most of the major vendors down below and an Amazon store. You could take those, use those links for all the shopping you're going to do on Amazon, and any knives you're going to buy, use my links. I've got the coupon code. Okay. Coupon code will save you 40% at Beyond EDC, 10% at Katsu Knives, 10% at Rosecraft Blades, and 10% at Fair and Forged Knife Works. It's crazy sharp. All one word, all lowercase. It's a good way to save you guys some money. I just wanted to get you a discount. I've got a public Discord down below. It says join the community, and I have a membership. You can click on that. I do giveaways. I do exclusive content, private Discord, and there's a premium tier sharpening tutorial series. Guys, that's it on this one. I love y'all. Keep it clean in the comment section. If it's your birthday, happy birthday, and I'll see you in the next video.